No doubt. Rod, racism play a part in this? Is it Dion? Is it him being too arrogant? Is it a lack of talent? What do you think, B?
I believe it's a little bit of everything you just said, but more importantly, I'm not going with this whole, we're not 143 better players that Shedeur Sanders. Attitude or not, you know what I'm saying? You want in your quarterback room, to say the least, you want somebody who you want a quarterback. You do want a quarterback with a chip on his shoulder. If I'm a Giants fan, to say the least, like look, we had Daniel Jones. Everybody year after year, as bad as he looked, we tried to lie our ways into saying that that was a good pick,
Mm-hmm.
right? We tried to, oh no, he could run. He's got wheels. He just needs
Yeah,
trash.
I was one of them. I ain't going front. Go ahead.
I'm not even going to sit here and act like the Jackson Dart, like Jackson Dart over Shedeur Sanders. That's where I kind of say I don't want to say it's racism, right? Because it's like they're like 1A, 1B, right?
Mm-hmm.
You still have veterans in your quarterback room. The Giants came back in the first round and had another pick. You know what I'm saying? Where it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, and that's when they took Jackson Dart.
Traded
I
up, yeah.
wasn't mad that they got the linebacker. You know what I'm saying? That was a good move. You beef up your defense or what have you. But okay, you pick him over there. I'm just saying this has more so to do with the owners in the league buck breaking. You know what I'm saying? It's a modern day version
Mm.
of buck breaking, right?
Wow.
Because again, there are not. I don't care what y'all. I don't care what anybody says. There were not 143 people better than Shedeur Sanders that got drafted beforehand. You know what I'm saying? To say the least, he should have dropped. Let's just say the first round went, and very few quarterbacks went in the first round, so that's why he didn't go there. And let's just say second round, we saw a lot of tight ends come off the board in the second round. Let's say he doesn't get. Maybe there only like two to three more quarterbacks that got picked in the second round. The third round, that's where he should have gone. So the fact that he didn't, the fact that we literally had to wait till Sunday, I think, or late Saturday to find out where Shedeur Sanders was going, that's the league saying something without saying something. You know what I'm saying? That I'm not going to say it's collusion or anything like that, but that they talking to somebody. The other part about it is right, like me personally, if people like Johnny Manziel can talk his shit, Baker Mayfield, they could talk their shit, or any other quarterback could
Yo,
talk their shit and be that guy. And
it's a great fucking
if
point.
everybody else can be that, right? If everybody else can be that, right? Why is it? Why is it an antic? Like we'll say, oh, we don't want to. What team wants to deal with that circus? What circus? The fact that his father, who's contributed to American sports, if not world sports, his father help make your league what it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Dion was an incredible player, right? He
Mm-hmm.
raised his sons. He raised his sons. He turned around. He turned two organizations around. Why is
Mm-hmm.
that kid not supposed to feel as cocky
Mm-hmm.
as he is? He was a part of all of that, and he was good at it. He was good. Like he was good. He got three wide receivers drafted. You
Yeah.
got Joe Horn. You got Travis Hunter. You got what's the other kid's name? Yo, the kid is. He might have some work to do just from making the transition from college to the NFL. But this is a good, solid quarterback. He's going to be good. I hope he exceeds the expectations. The thing that was really pissing me off is you
He
can't.
might not even make the team, Ra.
No, he's going to make the team.
Who
Shador's going to make
whose
the
spot is
team.
he gonna take?
Whose spot is he going to take?
Could think
Probably the quarterback that they drafted ahead of him.
but think about this, right? First, second, third round, normally you're looking at guys we your team think can be part of the future. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Those first couple of rounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like if he gets a spot over him, that's basically throwing that draft pick away. Joe Flacco, in my opinion, probably gonna get the nod. He's been there. He's been there last year. He knows the playbook. He's the experienced veteran guy. You got Kenny Pickens, who not Kenny Pickens. What's his name? I keep getting him mixed up with the dude from the receiver from Pitt. What's his name?
No, it
Kenny
is
Pickett.
Kenny
Kenny
Pickens.
Pickens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickens. He's even though he's bounced around a couple of teams, he's become a veteran guy. You still got Deshaun Watson, even though he's injured, and you have Shador. So like, unless Shador has a monster fucking preseason, wow, like they're not gonna carry five. They're not even gonna carry four quarterbacks. One goes to the practice squad, and even to have three. Or you could have three on the fucking roster and one on the practice squad. Where's the fifth guy going? Somebody's if they playing fucking musical chairs.
Like I
Somebody's out of a
said,
job over there.
I think the quarterback that they drafted before him is the one that's he's gonna end up catching a
Cut.
cut. Yeah, because look, you got to look. Not for nothing. A message was said. It's behind us now. You know what I'm saying? It is. You got drafted where you got drafted. It's up to Shedeur now to go out there and prove why he shouldn't have made it this far down. I think he has the capability of doing so. Right. So the other part of it, let's go back to the business of the NFL. The NFL is still about business and money. You know, having Shedeur on your team for a Cleveland Browns team, that's what else are we going to be watching out for? Unless Joe Flacco comes back and has one of these amazing, it's you need somebody to look at you. We're in Cleveland, we need them to look at us. So he's going to be good for business in general because he's Shedeur Sanders, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other part that I didn't like about it is like Q was saying, like the narrative. Well, he interviewed bad. He's cocky. He's this. He's that. Right. Mm-hmm. Everything that we've heard from this kid throughout the process, right, throughout the entire process, I ain't heard the kid say one thing bad. And some of that shit you just can't teach. You could tell that this is a respectful kid. He might be loud, proud, and black, but like I said, I don't give a I'm good for you. You know what I'm saying? Good for you to be to not code switch because the moment says you, I know just you, Shedeur, you have to calm down. Everybody else go wear their chains and talk shit, but the Sanders family, y'all have to calm down. Your father's talking too crazy. Y'all are too shiny. We're gonna humble you. Why? The kid said all the right things. You got people's sons from other teams prank calling him.
Yeah, that was crazy.
On it, come on, really look what happened to this kid.
Yeah,
let's look what really happened to this kid. Like this was more than football. This was about something else. This wasn't just about football because if it was about football, hey, he doesn't slide all the way. This was about something way bigger than that.
I agree.
And the entire time, the one thing I gotta say is the way that the Sanders family has handled it was with grace and humility. Because by now, if I'm Dion, I'm talking my ish because I can. He hasn't come out talking crazy yet. Shedeur even answered the phone when the kid's son called and accepted his apology. So if he's all these things, the narrative, well, if everybody's saying it got to be true. No, it doesn't. It could be what you want. This is what we need the narrative to be because clearly we're wilding out. But so what? It's our league. This is our team. We're going to do what we want. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What happened to Shedeur Sanders in a long run, this is going to go down in sports history as one of the wildest things you could do to somebody on this particular level. And it wasn't deserving of it. Like I said, this was not about, well, he didn't look good in the pocket or he didn't have the installment package correctly. So that's why we passed on him. It was none of those things. Like all of it. Even if I wanted to consider all those things, he didn't look good in the pocket. The drop down, and he didn't say the right thing in this interview. 143 motherfuckers don't go before him.
I could see him slipping out of even to the late first, but I can't even see him slipping past the second round. I agree with that. You know what I'm saying?
No, he got to go in the third. Preem had him pegged for the third round somewhere in there, and again, it stopped making sense to me after the third. Once I started seeing what quarterbacks they were drafting, wait a minute, like what this is different now. Yeah. This is different now. They doing they drafting water boys at this point. Like, we need somebody to clean the bathroom with the 132nd pick.
I thought he'd go to Pitt. I thought maybe Seattle might have picked. Like, there's a couple of things I thought
the Saints
possibly, even though they got Carr there. Yeah, like I don't know, but.
The quarterbacks that were chosen before him for those teams that needed a quarterback, for the teams that needed a quarterback, other than Cam Ward, we could make the argument. Well, hopefully Jackson Dart if it was a coin flip. Okay,
I don't love that pick, but God, yeah.
But let's just say the quarterbacks that got picked before Shedeur, right, were teams that needed to fill that position.
Yeah.
Other than Cam Ward, an arguably Preem's guy. What'd you say his name was? That you like, Pete? What's his son's name?
Milroe.
He went late though. Then he
went real late.
Yeah.
There are at least 2 to 3 quarterbacks that got chosen before him, including the one who got drafted to Cleveland before Shedeur did. I don't even know who these guys are.
Yeah.
Like, who are these people?
Yeah.
They're supposed to go in the 5th round because who are you?
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders, this is bigger than football. And I think eventually it comes out. And the NFL looks really bad. Like this was less than desirable. Like this wasn't a good look for the league. It's definitely not encouraging for other people that are going to have this position. This is a bad look. The
Who
vetting
needed
process.
QBs though? The Giants needed a QB. Okay, let's say the Giants didn't pick. The Giants didn't pick him. They got Dart, right? Okay, I'm just going down the list. The Patriots were next. Obviously, they didn't need a quarterback. They got Drake May from
Big
last year.
man. Mm-hmm.
Cleveland, although they wound up drafting him, you can make the argument that they didn't necessarily need a quarterback. And I like Mason Graham. They're going to pay him with what's my man and Garrett and all that, and I like that. Raiders, I could have seen him going sixth. I
I
could have
could have
definitely
seen
seen that.
Seen him already.
Uh, yeah, maybe ninth to the Saints.
Saints need a
Bear,
quarterback.
yeah, Saints. Bears don't need one.
Nope.
Niners don't really need one. Cowboys don't need one. Dolphins don't need one. Indianapolis don't need one. Falcons don't need. Yeah, so really, I can see how he falls out of this round if those two, if basically the Saints or the fucking Raiders don't like him. But then, like you said, to go to the fifth round is just there's not 144
It
guys
stopped.
that's better than him.
I
Yeah,
kid you not. Me and Jay was on the phone. 'Cause Jay was trying to call me. I was more passionate than Shedeur was about the whole situation. I'm
no
telling you,
doubt.
I was going through it. Once it got
Yeah,
past it, listen. Jay said this is where he's supposed to go. Once it got out, it stopped making sense. Like at this
yeah,
point now, I'm not even
yeah.
looking at the
It felt,
draft
it felt,
to
yeah.
see where he's going. I'm looking at the draft, seeing like, is this kid going to go undrafted?
It felt Kaepernick-ish, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It had that
Mhm.
type of air of collusion to it. Now, I'm not saying it's racist. Use the word buck breaking, and I kind of agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They wanted to humble.
yeah,
They wanted to humble Deion
mm-hmm,
Sanders, and they did it to his child, a kid
yeah, yeah.
that earned
But
his
why humble
opportunity.
Dion though? Dion's a Hall of Famer. He did Jackson State. He did his thing with. He goes to Colorado. Why he's doing great things for the. Why is he humble him for what? Because he talks a lot of shit.
Because he's loud, proud, and black.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know if it's
You
the
want to
loud
you want to
part of
go,
black.
Jay? Let's see
Yeah,
what Jay's
I don't know.
talking about.
You
Give
know,
me your thoughts.
I think there's levels to why this all happened. Some of it is a little bit of their own doing. They were, and I don't know if it's loud, proud, and black. I just think it's just loud, right? It don't have anything to do with them being black. We all know that. Everybody knows that, and they're not trying to accentuate or be over black or anything like that. They're loud and they're flashy, and Dion has every right to. Like you alluded to earlier, he had a spectacular career. He's done a ton, not just for the NFL, but for HSBCs, and then moving over to Colorado, and he was able to transform that program as well. And when you look at Shedeur, you see that he has talent. I think all of us on this can agree that he's got talent. Does he have the speed that you're seeing in some of the other quarterbacks? No. Does he have the accuracy? Absolutely. Does he have the arm strength? Maybe that's a little bit questionable. We know that he's durable. He can take an absolute fucking beating because he took one this season that just passed because they had a
Sacked 39 times.
horrible O line. In addition to the fact that they had a running back who probably had you and I together could probably pick up as many yards as that fucking running back did. He had like 300 yards, some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that.
No running
But
game bad online. What do you expect? Go ahead.
right, so you're gonna see that. But with that being said, there are things that I think that Dion might have done that contributed to making. And there's a huge word that keeps coming to mind, and we know for a fact that these fucking NFL owners don't like this word, distractions. They use it all the time. Is it going to be a distraction? Is it going to be a distraction? And we say us because of our affinity for Dion. We say, why is he going to be a distraction? He's Dion, But in other facets, it can easily become a distraction. And what I mean by that is if he goes somewhere where even in Cleveland right now, right? Cash said, they have 5 quarterbacks with Deshaun Watson. He'll probably never play another snap in the NFL just to keep it snug, right? I doubt versus. I know he had the setback, and he's probably not going to start this year. I think we've seen the end of Deshaun
Let me
Watson.
ask you: they gonna cut him and eat 180 million, whatever the fuck it is?
I don't think they're going to cut him, but I don't think they have a choice. At some point, they're going to have to cut bait with the guy. No, he's not a trade, right? Nobody's picking that guy up. You're not going to, even if you do trade him, you're going to eat a substantial amount of that
That's
anyway.
hell of a dead cap hit to go with. But I don't mean to.
Yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to figure out where he's going to end up, but realistically speaking, I don't think he plays another snap for the Browns or the NFL for that matter, right?
I can see that. Yeah.
You got Flacco, who had some success there. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
when they brought him off his couch, he played well. So you'll see that. And then you have Pickens. Pickens is on his 3rd team in 3 years. I think they'll sooner waive him rather than get rid of Shedeur. I think Shedeur's in a perfect place because he gets the opportunity. If he does what he's supposed to do in the offseason, this kid could legitimately see himself in a competition to start week 1, realistically. you could possibly see him starting week 1 if he has an excellent training camp and he actually competes.
He would have to if that happens, that's going to make the league look even more terrible.
I agree with Rob. I think they almost can't do that.
They can't do that.
But hold on.
That would be ridiculous.
This is not about the league. This is about what the Browns need to happen. We're only talking about the Browns. Stay with me. We're only talking about the Browns. Stay with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But fast forward through time and space. I'm not even going to even go there with it. If you look back, or matter of fact, rewind back through time and space, a lot of the things that Dion was saying on a lot of publications, very, very loudly about he was going to control where his child was going to go.
That's a good point.
You can't mush that shit in an NFL owner's face because they're going to do this. They're going to say that's a problem for them.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. Archie Manning told them.
Christ. I think Jesus Christ, it's crazy. Oh my God. Wow. No, that reaction was to my words.
My words.
So my question
mush your shit in niggas' faces, dog.
I do have a question for you. You said you can't do that and owners not take it. Archie Manning told the league Eli will not play on the West Coast. He did say that.
He said that after the draft.
He said that during the draft. The Chargers drafted him was like saying happening.
Time out. He didn't say that months and weeks leading up to the draft to give everybody time to set up for it. He said it in real time while the shit was happening. There's a difference. If you alert me to the fact that you're going to be a fucking issue for me.
What did Dion say again? We're going to control the narrative and we might not let him go here. Some shit like that, right?
He said, I know the business and I'm not going to let my son go to, I know these organizations. I'm not going to let my son go to a team where he's not going to get it back. I'm damn. You say you damn right. I'm going to be a part of his career. I understood all of that. I don't see. Like, I understand what he's saying. He knows the business. His son don't know the business.
Hold on. Let me just say.
You're changing what I said there and what I've witnessed.
Jay, to your point, and I'm gonna let you finish, but I just want to ask you this: do you think that with Dion saying that, with Shedeur being quote unquote arrogant and bad in interviews, do you think that him going to a team where he might be the backup, do you think that that's too much noise and luggage and like whoever used the word distraction for a team to want to pick up a backup with all that noise behind him?
I think you have to look at it that way because God forbid if the quarterback that's playing, like teams are looking at it this way. Right. Teams are looking at it this way. They want to give their quarterback an opportunity to be successful. Nobody wants to play looking over their shoulder, right? So if you bring in a high caliber player like that, unfortunately, it puts whatever quarterback you have in that position. But to get that part of it, the fans may start to clamor and want Shedeur, right? And if the team starts to say, hey, listen, we got to focus on what we want rather than bring in a rookie who may not have the stuff right now, it creates a moment where now you have that distraction, and that's okay. We've seen
Dion now leaking shit to the press. I think that's why Dave and Shane stayed away from him because their jobs is on the line.
Their jobs on the line.
He might have been throwing shit out in the press, play my son, and they're not playing.
He's also said publicly that he wants to coach his son at some point in the NFL.
That's another reason.
So like coaches are even looking at it like, do I really want that pressure of having one? If it doesn't go well, I got to bring him in. And the pressure to bring him in, and two, if it doesn't,
144, Jay, that's a lot.
I agree. I'm on record as saying that I wanted him for the Giants. I don't, like I've said this a number of times. Like it's on the show. I'm not a advocate.
No, I know. Yeah.
I'm just solely saying like these are the things that I know for a fact as a business owner. You have to make some business decisions. Now it's unfortunate that 32 teams didn't make these decisions because 32 teams didn't need quarterbacks. So we just went over that. So let's say 6 teams out of 32 made that decision as far as whether we're going to go with Dion or with Shedeur or not. Not 32, because I know a lot of people get it confused. 32 teams passed up on him. 32 teams didn't have a need for him.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have to be realistic.
So can I ask you a question with that? Because 32 teams may not have had a need for him based off of either them not having picks or them trading their picks away. And hey, by the time we pick again, if I'm a team and I'm looking at this, even if I didn't need a quarterback, right? But I could pick up one of the a talent that I could use as trade equity in the future. Like I think me and you was talking about it before, premiums, like to say the least. The Browns have a leverage piece with Shedeur because there might be a team that didn't do the right thing during the draft, but at some point they're going to need something. And the Browns can say, "We'll give you Shedeur. We need picks," or so forth and so on. Like,
but then that happens in the 5th round, though, Rob. That's where you do that. You don't do that in the 2nd and 3rd round. You're trying to beef up the team that you have in areas that you're deficient. You're not going to waste a pick in the 2nd round to pick up a guy that I can maybe trade later. Like I'm picking up D-line. I'm picking up tackles. I'm picking up edges. I'm picking up
secondary pieces,
wide receivers. I'm picking up pieces that I can use if I have a quarterback already. I'm not
which is what we saw, right?
That direction.
Which is what we saw, right? Which is absolutely what we saw. But at the end of the day, even if I take that number and say 143 people shouldn't have gone before before Shedeur, right? Let's just say let's put that number into the amount of teams that may have had a need for a quarterback, right? And then let's try to conceptualize how many picks should have gone before he got picked. There's still not 30 players in the realm of where he should have gotten picked. Maybe not in per round. But even in that 30-player round, not 140, he should not have made it all the way to the 5th round, man. Like, this is bigger than.
I agree.
This has more to do with, hey, my God, you want to get who's?
Let's get these thoughts.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get Dave's thoughts. Dave.
I want to get these thoughts. It's wild.
Oh, wait.
Hold on.
Christ.
Dave's got something to say.
I think, Jesus Christ, it's crazy. Oh, my God. Wow. No, that reaction was to my words.
Wow is the funniest part of that.
That's the dopest soundbite we might have.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Ah,
man. What? Like you said, all of you guys brought up excellent points, man. It's got to be something bigger than football. It has to be. I mean, like this has to be like get back in your spot.
For sure.
Like you were saying, man. It's just like buck breaking. Like he's too strong. He's too confident. This is like something to break his confidence. I feel like, but to what Jay was saying. If there's a legitimate need, like if they have a legitimate need for him, let's say he ends up starting, like then, like you said, it looks even crazier. You let this great talent slip to the 5th round. Why? Like, for what reason? Like, we never know. Like, this is a crazy year in sports. There's a lot of crazy, weird things going on, like trade wise, like this incident, like. It's like they're not being really upfront about things now. It's like we're not gonna hide anything. Like
to me, they stopped all the covert shit and the clandestine shit with the whole Kaepernick shit. That's when they just said, "Fuck it, we gonna show you who we are." And I'm still mad about that. I ain't watched football for a year. I ain't gonna front. I went back and maybe it's a sucker move. But Q will tell you I didn't watch football the whole year. I was like, this is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So.
But let's keep it a buck though. Like I'm not even like if you really want to sit back and think about it, like are you really surprised that the Browns, did this? Like people like the Browns are gonna either be the team that always drafts, like if he has a bad year or years or just doesn't pan out, it's just gonna look like to the rest of the league like the Browns don't know how to draft quarterbacks.
Or it's a genius move because you picked up a franchise quarterback in the 5th round. You ain't gonna pay the motherfucker third round, third pick money.
And it's gonna be a win. It's gonna be a win-win and a win for the NFL as an organization to say, hey, look, this guy didn't pan out and the Browns dropped the ball again. You know what I mean? Like Johnny Manziel didn't pan out. Let's keep it a buck. Baker Mayfield didn't have good seasons when he was in there neither. And then then they try to get Deshaun Watson. Like, come on, man. Like, and this all happened within like the last 10 years. And, they were the team to get Shedeur Sanders, even after drafting another quarterback right before him. But if it does work out and he becomes a starter, they look like, damn, they may be turning this shit around because we know they're a team that desperately needs help. How many number 1 picks? Remember that? I think it was like 2014 or some shit. They had like 2 number round picks, like 1 and 4, and it just didn't pan out. Like, if I'm not bugging, like it just looks like more of a reason for the Browns to make that decision.
Can I ask you this though? If it like 99% of the time, if they thought his talent, you're only as good as you're only tolerated as far as your talent is concerned, right? That's what they all say, right? If his talent was through the fucking roof, I don't see us having this issue, right? Like you deal with the shit. Like they used to deal with Odell, they used to deal with Ocho, they used to deal with T.O. until his talent wasn't there anymore. Then you're just you're disposable. But you think could it just be? This is devil's advocate. I don't believe this. You think it could just be a talent thing?
It could be. Think about this. Think about Larmy Tunsil. The guy got caught with a fucking weed mask on the day of the draft. The photographs appeared with him wearing a weed mask.
Yeah.
And he still went in the first fucking round.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they tolerated it. He ended up going to the.
It's hard to say racist because the number one pick was black, so it's hard to play the race card on this. But
nah, that's why I said we can't play the race card outright. But you can, like I said, buck breaking. That term is a racist term, and the reason why I say you got to be very careful of what happens, or what this set the precedent for the league. Also, for up and coming talent, they can move you out of your spot that you fought for and put you anywhere they want in this draft.
Yeah, it's what we had. No doubt.
You're right. You gotta be very careful of what this is actually doing to these kids that are putting their body on the line. They're training for their whole life. That's basically telling you that a top ranked college player who y'all created the way it's supposed to work, college to the NFL, and this is the process to do it. Yeah. Y'all are now setting the precedent to say, hey, listen, my team may need a quarterback, and there's a Heisman dude that deserves that first round draft pick, and all the caveats that come around it, how you get paid, contracts, and all that. And they could say, you never know. First, you might be number one, but we'll pick you up whenever we see fit. This is a dangerous. This is you.
I don't subscribe to that.
The best point you made, and hold on, the best point you made, and I didn't think of this, Rod, was the Manziel Baker Mayfield point. You're absolutely 100% right in that. Them niggas is as cocky and as brash and as arrogant as you could fucking get. Why weren't they treated the same fucking way? Well, Manziel was pushed out the league, but Baker Mayfield has been given opportunity after opportunity after fucking opportunity.
But at the time that they came out, they were better football players than Shedeur. Being realistic,
that's objective.
Maybe Baker, but Manziel, I don't know if you can make the case for that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, at that time he was going nuts. Like I think we have to be realistic. At that time, it was Manziel mania. Like he was absolutely
mega trash on Cleveland, though. Yeah.
But when he got to the league, he was trash. And Baker was too, for that matter. They both went to the same team. Check that shit out, right?
But what was the first pick, wasn't he?
What is it? What is it that you always say, Jay? You say something like, we can't be a prisoner of the moment. Like when you say they were better than Shedeur was in their moment in college. Again, we don't get to choose what this class was. We could take a look at this draft class and go, who were the best players to be drafted? The kid absolutely balled out. As far as the quarterbacks that are in this, as far as all the quarterbacks that are in this particular year, shit, Allen Iverson's not Michael Jordan, but it doesn't change the fact that he's still AI.
I'm not talking about them. I'm not comparing them as far as if they were in the same class. I'm talking about
saying that they were
look at that class and look at the class we just witnessed.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those respective classes and look at the class we just witnessed.
Shedeur Sanders is not a good quarterback to you?
Bro, I didn't say he's not a good quarterback. I think you I don't know how many times I got to say that either, because I've said it a number of times. I wanted the guy on the Giants. Like I can't walk that back. I know what I wanted, but I have to be realistic with what I actually saw. Like some of it was fandom for Dion. Some of it was I was absolutely a fan of Dion, and I understood like, yo, this kid's gonna be great. And I watched him and I thought that he was good. I don't know about great. When you look at Shedeur play, do you see greatness?
He has the potential to being, if he has from the first year I saw him to now, yes. If Shedeur continues to progress and get better every year, like he has every year in college, and if he's able to make the transition into the league, because there are things there's no rookie quarterback that I think is going to come out and just get busy. I don't think Cam Ward is going to come out completely amazing, but I believe if he makes that step, yes, I do think that Shedeur will be a very solid quarterback.
Okay, so stay right there. The words that you used are fantastic.
A great quarterback. I think he'll be a great quarterback. Yes, I think he's going to be a great quarterback.
I don't see great. I see that he'll be a very, very, very good quarterback. I really do. And that's and I've thought about that a number of times now. I don't know. I'll go around the room real quick.
They didn't
Cash,
see
you
great with Tom
greatness?
Brady. I don't know if they necessarily saw great with Peyton Manning. I mean, we can go. Well, maybe we can go down the line with
Winning makes you
quarterbacks.
great. Yeah, winning makes you great. It doesn't.
Brock Purdy.
Well, he's not great as it
He's
is,
not great.
Brady. Yeah.
Are you talking about great? Oh, I thought you were
But
talking about
even an undersized Drew Brees, you know what I mean? Eli, you know, like you can go down. Well, Eli was number one pick. I don't know if we can make that comparison, but there's different quarterbacks not coming to mind right now. I don't know. We'll see, man. Like we'll see.
Do you think Eli Manning? Do you think Eli Manning was a great quarterback
in college?
No, on the Giants.
Then the flip flops.
I think he was a very good quarterback. I think he was a very good quarterback.
Okay,
yeah.
Because I thought he was great in college and Ole Miss.
No, I'm talking about in the NFL.
He was special in Ole Miss.
In the NFL.
All the records.
Yo, listen, in the NFL.
So that's what I'm saying.
Do you think Eli was a great quarterback?
Who had great moments. Great moments for sure.
Do you think
he was a great college player?
Legendary moments.
Who had great moments in
we're not
NFL.
We're not talking about college anymore. We're in the NFL. Do you think Eli Manning was a great quarterback?
No.
I'm not sure where you're going.
Answer the question. Do you think Eli Manning was a great quarterback? Yes or no?
Got 2 rings. Why not? Yeah.
Why not? No. Yes or no, P?
Yes.
Was he? So he was a great quarterback?
Absolutely.
That means that if Shedeur can do that for any team, then he's going to be great. If Shedeur comes in here and wins 1 Super Bowl, I don't give a fuck if he looks like Tom Brady or not. It's gonna pan out to saying, yo, he was a great quarterback. No, I'm not reversing.
You are, because I didn't say anything about him being great in the NFL. I said, you see a great quarterback right now.
Yes.
You see a great quarterback right now. And
yes,
the
I
answer
do.
is no.
No, I do see a great quarterback. I see a great quarterback. I think that kid is amazing. He better than shit. I had him as a top quarterback in college.
I mean,
I thought he was very exciting to watch. I watched.
Your argument, my man. Go for it.
No, now go home and get your fucking shine box.
but the only reason we can't say that right now is because we only could judge based on their greatness and their talent and their competitiveness and their athleticism only through college. Like shit may or may not work out, and it's gonna take years. It's gonna take 2-3 years. Maybe even more. Come on, look how long it took Sam Darnold. Look how inconsistent Kirk Cousins was. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of quarterbacks, you know, like, that we could see and probably would have thought that they would have been better, or we thought they were going to be worse, and then flip-flop. They just became either better down the line, or they just became worse. Down the line. But we could say we hope he's going to turn out to be great. I think he does have a lot of potential. I just think he needs to be in the right organization. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think this is the perfect organization, because I think this is going to be a win-win situation for Shedeur. It's going to be either he's going to show out against these bum-ass quarterbacks and say, yo, this is what y'all did. This is what y'all passed up on. Or it didn't work out, and then the rest of the league is going to be like, damn, man, maybe I was a bust. I shouldn't have said all that shit that they said I was saying. My father, whatever the hell, man. Maybe everybody was right with their speculation. You know what I mean? But I guarantee it's going to put that chip on his shoulder to make sure that he has to come out swinging and punching for those first 3 years of his career in the NFL.
Good work, my brothers, man. Let's towel off. Everybody's a little heated and shit.
Let's towel off.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's take a shot for Shedeur. Take a shot for Shedeur, bro. Take a shot for Shedeur, man.
He's definitely got something to prove now, man.